What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today is going to be a little extra juicy, especially for my die-hard Airbus fans out there. I know you guys love IAE engines, and you are looking at something right now that might be a game changer here for the Flight Factor 320. Real quick, I'm testing out some new settings for OBS, so the only problem is I'm not going to have a immediate response on audio levels. So as long as audio levels are fine, let me know. If something's too loud, let me know, because for some reason this type of overlay doesn't let me see the active audio as I'm speaking. So hopefully everything will be good. I know the sim's awfully quiet right now. I had, let's go ahead and just drive these guys up and see what happens here. Make a little bit of background noise for us, but this is me standing on the jet bridge looking at a 320 across from me with extra juicy engines. I can't even tell what's real or what's not anymore. Carda Jowol has been at it again, and this time it's, I don't know. He impresses me every time he releases an engine mod. It seems to be better than the last one he releases, and this one is no different. So we're going to get really up and close and personal with these engines here in just a minute. Shout out to everybody in chat here. Wojtek, good to see you, man. You say you're ready to fly like last time. Had to postpone your flight. My video has priority. Thank you, Wojtek. I appreciate it, man. Hey, you can always fly along with me if you want. We are on VATSIM this afternoon. I did just get a PDC clearance from Philadelphia Tower, or Philadelphia Ground, so that's good. Andy, good to see you here. What's up, man? Good evening. Good evening. Swarm 3513, Gene R. Houghton, Anthony Anderson. Sam is in the house. Flying Brickyard Sam. Dougal McTavish, good to see you, sir. Sergey, Robin H. Sin City Simulations, good to see you as well. Mrs. Jungles, Captain Tom, hope you're staying afloat down there in the Gulf, my friend, with all of Ida going through there, tearing up some of the coastlines and whatnot. But all right. We're going to go ahead and get this stream started, guys. So let's go ahead and just get off of our little perch here, and we're going to have to go like this, free mode. And we're just going to park ourselves right here for a second. I just want you guys to take a look at this PBR, at this texturing. These are, if you don't know, the IAE, or International Aero v2500 motors. Remember, this is a realistic engine mod. Carda puts them out. This is just going to be a visual mod for the Flight Factor A320. It is still in early alpha, but at least you get to see something here. And if I'm streaming it, then you know that it's made some really good progress. I think he's going to do a few little tweaks here and there, but it is kind of mind-blowing of the attention to detail that he has put out on these engines. Most notably, I'm going to come to this view here. Right here. I want you guys to take a look at the shape of this engine. The shape of this engine is, I've used a previous IAE mod because I prefer these motors over the CFMs, but I didn't realize how much was wrong with it, or maybe not necessarily wrong, just not correct or geometrically correct until I saw Carda's mod. Now that I have Carda's mod on there, it's blowing my mind. This gentleman is extremely talented in what he does. So what a way to kind of showcase these engines here. The reverser, attenuators are modeled. Everything on this engine is modeled. I've said it before. These are study level engines. It kind of blows your mind when you get out there and start seeing the engine operate, see the animations, and of course the decals, everything in the correct position. The pylon looks absolutely amazing. And I know it's not early morning in Philadelphia right now, but I'm doing this on purpose because we're going to kind of look at these engines as the light changes on the aircraft, as things brighten up, and as we get a little bit more sun to reflect. But just look at that. Look at the shape of that engine right there. Let me see if I can get one more zoom here, and then I promise you we're going to do some flying. But we just have to just take a look at that right there. I'm going to zoom all the way in on it. Look at that. I mean, that just looks real. So we're going to have all crews to check it out. We're going to be looking at these engines for all of our crews flying up there. And as far as sounds go today, these guys, I'm going to be rocking the BSS pack with the FT-Sim sounds. Now, I did purchase the BSS IAE pack. I gotta say, I wasn't in love with it. It didn't blow me away. There's a bug above 325 knots indicated. The sounds kind of get really loud for some reason. It seems like it's a bugged audio file. And of course, you don't have replay sounds with the BSS pack. So I'm running the BSS internals, and then the engine sounds only are FT-Sim. So everything you hear from the engine is FT-Sim, which will give us reverser sounds, replay sounds, but everything else is BSS. So it's kind of a hybrid pack. Dougal McTavish says it looks like a photo. I totally agree, man. And yeah, Glenn, these are study level engines. I don't know why my mouse is doing this. I got like a little index pointer on here. I hope that's not a sign for bad things to come. But all right, enough ooh and ah for now. Let's actually fly this airplane. Let's hop into the cockpit, guys. We are completely cold and dark. I've done, I'm gonna do a poll here. Do you prefer cold and dark or turnaround state for streams? So it's gonna be C and D. I want to do a little poll here in chat because I like this poll function YouTube is giving us here. And then turnaround is TA. So I'm just curious if you guys get tired of me starting up the airplane from cold and dark all the time, or if you just want to see it in turnaround state. Either way, I got the poll up there. Let's go ahead and get the airplane at least aligning. We'll do our full-blown pre-flight flows here. So we'll get into the airplane, landing gear lever selector down. We'll get this out of the way. Off, off. Make sure the weather radar is off, flaps are up and indicating. Spoid brake handle is up, but we know Flight Factor likes to drop that down on us. 25.6 volts or greater. We got both of that. Let's go battery 1, battery 2. Give it a minute to power on here. Just give it a couple seconds. And then we're going to go ahead and get the GPU plugged in. There we go. So we can see that. And GPU on. Airplane comes to life. Now again, remember if sound volumes are skewed, let me know, because I don't know if this performance mode is going to make a difference or not while streaming. I'm trying to crisp up the image of the stream, most notably when panning camera angles. So I don't know if you guys can tell a difference at all or not on this stream, but I'm trying a couple different things, and one of them is disabling my view of the stream as you guys see it, but coincidentally it also blocks my view of the audio. Wow, you guys do prefer the cold and dark. I'm looking at that. That's pretty. I'm okay. I got nothing wrong with it. I have no problem doing cold and dark. I actually, I like it, but I just wondered if sometimes you guys get tired of seeing the same setup every time here. But let's go ahead and get the airplane going. And I'm actually going to talk about a new procedure from Airbus that's coming out here for the 8-years. Another one. Of course, everything is always updating, right? So where was I? I was lost. We did all that. We did our originating, receiving. We got the power on. So let's come down here. Let's check the bleed page. I'm sorry, not the bleed page, the engine page. We do have oil quantity. That is good. Hydraulic fluid. We do have hydraulic fluid. Pressurization. This should say auto up here. This does not say auto. Oh, look, we can see the outflow, inlet and outflow flaps just opened. That's based off skin temperature on the ground of the aircraft, so that's up. Nav TCAS fault will clear that out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and hop outside, do my pre-flight. Dreamless, his picture quality seems still better, but still blurry when moving. Interesting. Commander, yeah, I've uploaded the bitrate max. 9,000, YouTube could take up to 9,000 bitrate. I got a 9,000 bitrate going up right now. So I just don't remember my streams being blurry, when I had my old fiber. So we'll see. All right, let's go ahead and do our other flow here. That's going to come on. Ground control on. And guys, check this out. If you guys ever wanted to hear the CVR test, there you go. We've got a good CVR test. Captain per switch to captain. Alignment, here we go. 1, 2, and 3. We only have to wait for one on bat light technically to come on and off. Now, something that is coming out, well, that already is out, and based on the Neo aircraft, the alignment of the 8-years is now being placed on the originating checklist. And that's done because the Neo aircraft have a little bit different software as far as I think it was unreliable. It had to do with airspeed or unreliable airspeed or position, something with air data. And that new update you can if you have that software, you can actually be faulted out if you align the aircraft at a later part in your flows. So now the alignment phase is actually done on that preliminary check, and for the Neos specifically. But anyway, it doesn't really apply to us here in the sim. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3 set. Let's go and get our strobes in auto, nav position 1, off, auto, arm those. We are in auto up here. Let me go ahead and turn the dome light on and get a little bit more lights in here. We'll leave our fuel pumps off for now. Let's go ahead and do our fire test. And Phantom 320 forgot to do the APU test, so we'll do that. 1, 2, and 3, that looks good. And then up the right-hand side panel, all lights out here. We'll go ahead and get our cargo heat on. Basically isolate that in the middle. That's out and off, the halfway volume up there, and nothing done up top. Coming back to our cockpit seat here, make sure our PFD and ND brightness is as required. That looks good. Flight director's off for now. I'm going to go ahead and turn constraint mode on. Current altimeter setting from Philadelphia is telling me it is 2987. So we got 2987 set once, set twice. That is good. All this panel looks good here. Get that integral lighting and off, and parking brake is on. Beautiful. All right. Now we can go ahead and start programming the box here. Let's pop this sucker up. Let's go to this view. Let's do it like this, huh? Like this. Beautiful. Ailerons into wind says, good evening, V1. I hope you're well, my good sir. Finally had the chance to take my son out flying for the first time during one of my lessons this week. His face after rotate will be a memory for life. Ailerons into the wind. That is awesome, dude. I'm glad to hear that. Nothing like sharing the joy of flight for sure. All right, well, I guess cold and dark still wins. All right, just wanted to make sure we could do that. All right, here we go. Look at our nav data. We are CFM56. I know it's just because the Flight Factor doesn't give you the option. We do have current nav database. That is good. Let's go ahead and program this. We're going Philly to Portland, Maine. If you guys aren't familiar with Portland, Maine, it does have a beautiful approach up there. I haven't flown it in quite some time, but it is a beautiful approach going into runway 29er. Today we're operating Cactus 357. Chris Rund, welcome to Private Pilot. Thank you so much for joining the channel, Chris Rund. Exclamation point, welcome, for information on your new perks here at the channel. I do post, I wouldn't say weekly, but trip, I don't know what the word would be. When I go out on real-world flying trips, I like to post shorts. I make shorts, upload video shorts of my day-to-day life on the road. That is exclusive to members only, plus you get the V1 After Dark Discord channel. So I do appreciate you joining and becoming a member. Thank you, sir. All right, cost index, we're going to do 75. I don't care what SimBrief says. Cruise flight level, we're going 240. Short flight, we're going to get up to 24. Now, I did find this, believe it or not, here, so I highlighted it. Where is that page? Here we go. This is what we normally do in real life. So -3, so it's actually +6. What? Oh, that's at 17,000. Disregard. All right, so it's probably realistically, I'm just going to guess, we'll call it minus, it's probably ISA plus at least 7. So how about 28, 27? That works. Oops, negative. Really have some issues. Get our ISA correction in there. Troposphere is up at like 52 thou. Don't need to worry about that. IRS and IT, I forgot to do that. Align on ref and confirm the alignment phase. Do I use rain repellent on the 320s? You bet, man. I found the rain repellent is best used when you're flying in that light drizzling rain. Not a super heavy rain, but just that a thick rain, but the drops are very small, if that makes sense. Like a heavy mist. That's when I find the rain repellent is best used on the 320. All right, we're going to be departing out of here. What are they departing? Runways 27-ish. Expect ILS approach 27, departing runway 27 left. Used to be based here for way too long. Philly 2 probably. Oh, I do have a clearance. What do they give me? Philly 2, yep. Blah, blah, blah. All as filed, basically. 28 for altitude and maintain. Cool. Insert that. I don't know why we got a manual leg there. What happened to there? There should be a disco. Insert that. That's what it should look like. All right. Captain Big Mike says, sorry I missed the 7.4 live stream, but I did watch it. What an awesome aircraft. Awesome stream. Dude, if you guys missed that 7.4 stream, please check it out. It was a lot of fun. We did a flight test on it. Just did some basic maneuvers and stalls and all that good stuff, and I had a blast. Ditch, D-I-T-C-H. I'm going to put you on top. There we go. We should keep that disco there. Ditch. And then from Ditch, we're going to pick up the Airway Victor 312, Victor 312, all the way out to Jimmy. J-I-M-E-E. Insert you. And then from Jimmy, we're going to go direct to a Wavy. And if you haven't flown the Harbor Visual, I'm going to show you kind of the best way to set it up here. Wavy ship, S-H-I-P-P. Insert that and direct to, oh, I should know. I used to know what CCC is. I should know that. And the SCOGS 3. Portland, I'm going to go arrival. I'm going to go 29. So I'm going to select the ILS 29. SCOGS 3, correct, off CCC. Insert that. How's that look? We got a 1 disco, which we want. Everything else, beautiful. Secondary, let's do a quick initialization. Filthy to filthy. Secondary, perf data. What do we got? All I care is this. Approach. 29er, what was it? 87. On the ECAM, I can barely see it. 31, geez, what is wrong with you guys out here? It is hot in Philly. 31 degrees in Philly is not 31 degrees anywhere else. It's pretty nasty. All right, secondary. And NIT B is what I need to get at. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and load up our airplane here. Let's go cargo. Let's do that. That looks good. We'll set that. Passengers. We got a full load checking out Carda's IAE mod. We'll go ahead and load that up. And as far as fuel goes, we need 10,400 pounds. So what is that to kilos? What is that? I gotta do a quick conversion here on Google. How long do you need to wait before you start the APU bleed? 3 minutes, Axel Jack. It's a recommended 3-minute wait before you start the bleed on the APU. That's for blowback of oil and anything that could have leaked into the APU area. I'm using United 18 for the sim brief profile. All right, I need to go 10,000, let's just call it 11,000 pounds to kilos. Because Flight Factor doesn't give you the option, so 4.9. We're gonna set you 4.9. Set. Cool, we can pull you back. Perf data. We'll set that, and we should have 59,129.8 at 4.9 with 6 minutes extra gas. Oh, hold on, they got the route reserve in here. Let's clear that. We can't clear it? Should allow them to clear it out. All right, whatever. 6 minutes extra gas, no messing around. And NIT B is done. Prague, K Philly in there, and perf data is going to be, what do they got? 136, 136. We'll call it 131. We're going to do a flap 1, a yoga, no flex, 1540 engine out, acceleration altitude. That looks good to me. Fuel on board, verified. Let's get our fuel pumps on. Prime the APU, get that on. Just take a listen to these sounds here, and we'll listen to the, or listen, look at this beautiful IAE engine. Andre Henry, what's up, man? Welcome aboard. You definitely just made it. Look at this engine, dude. This engine is real life. All right, let's go ahead and start the APU. I'm trying to find a spot where I can... Now that the lights come up a little bit, check this out. Look at the detail on this inlet, guys. Just take a look at that for a minute. I'm going to let that camera settle in there. Calverton, thank you so much. Calverton, yes, I should have known that. Got the T2 probe up there. And guys, once we back off the gate, we'll go ahead and start the clock here, chrono for 3 minutes on that APU bleed. Once we back off the gate and you see the inlets of this engine, it'll blow your mind. It looks so good. I'm telling you, it's the best looking IAE engines I've ever seen. All right, overhead looks good. We got our APU on. We'll go ahead and disconnect from the ground power. Every time you disconnect from ground power or there's a power transfer in the Airbus, especially the Neos are very susceptible to this. Always want to verify your ground control push button stays illuminated. Sometimes that power transient will cause this to trip offline, and then you're sitting there, you know, doing your takeoff brief and all this, and it's not recorded, and then, God forbid, something bad happens on the airplane, and now you don't have a record of doing your takeoff brief. So always want to monitor that. That's something the captain's definitely keeping his eye on. Let's get our squawk in here. So PDC says pre-departure, blah, 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 320 Philly, Portland, squawk 3077, 3077. For VATSIM purposes, we're going to go on and TAR at the gate. Remember, that's only VATSIM purposes. Final altitude 240, approved route is what we put in the box. 28.4 on departure. We're going to have to call ground first on 21.9. So we're going to go 21.9 like so. And tower is going to be 18.5.
5004, I have your clearance advisor on your copy. 5004, go ahead. Oh, 5004, you are cleared to the
18.5 in the secondary.
Departure, ready to Woodstown, then as
Fully approach 28.4.
Minutes after departure. Departure frequency is on 128.4, squawk 3026.
All right, let's start closing up doors.
Departure, vector Woodstown 5000 after departure, 2201, minutes after departure, 124, squawk 3026 on way 5004.
Over 5004, redeck is correct, pushback is at your discretion.
I'm unsure why we have a World War II paratrooper out here with his life vest inflated. That's interesting.
You want runway 17 or 27?
I am not sure.
27 left, please.
Look, he came straight out of World War II just to check out Carda's IAE engines. Look at this guy. What are you doing on the ramp? He's even got like boots. I mean, maybe he's, I can't tell. Is that a Luftwaffe emblem up there? Is this guy a German Messerschmitt pilot? Straight out of World War II, wanted to check out Carda's IAE mod. That's how you know these engines are good. I have no idea what he's doing there. But look at the detail. Now that we got some light on this side, look at this shot right here, guys. This is probably my favorite. I don't know which view I like best with Carda's engines. Looking at this inlet here, the detail. Look at the detail. I'm gonna just zoom it in, just kind of let it pixelate. This is next level, guys. When I get excited about add-ons, I'm like, oh, this is study level and next level. This is one of those times.
Texas 468, you were cleared to the Portland Airport by the Toga departure, radar vector is ditched and as filed. EPN 5000, expect 17,000 minutes after departure. Departure frequency is on 128.4, squawk 3020.
Man, that looks good. All right, we're pretty much all closed up, right? He's gone, passenger door, let's close everything up here. Get rid of the chocks, get rid of the GPU. We're at 3 minutes, let's go APU bleed on, let's go beacon on.
Texas 468, confirm initial altitude 5,000.
Yeah, 5,000.
Texas 468, readback is correct, pushback at your discretion, unlike your 7 last advised ready taxi.
Ground to cockpit, please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
All right, he's driving up. Let's go ahead and pull up our actual charts here. We're departing off of Bravo 4. The reason I picked, or I'm sorry, yeah, Bravo. There's a really good pizza place. Well, it used to be in Philly. It used to be a really good pizza place on this concourse. I used to always get a couple slices before I headed out. I will say I love the BSS. The ambient sounds of just sitting here at the gate with the fuel pumps running. Awesome. Christian says, you know, the engines are good when a paper World War II model looks at them. Yep, exactly. Christian, you know what's funny is on the harbor visual into Portland, Maine, there's an island called
All
Fort
doors
George.
and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Abhishek Performance IAE, no, this is, so for the Flight Factor, unfortunately, since they've only given us one airplane to fly, this is an aesthetic mod only. But if you combine it with the sounds, it's pretty, I mean, realistically, bouncing between airplanes, and guys ask me this all the time on Discord and streams, like, you know, what's it like looking at N1 gauges versus EPR gauges? Honestly, I can't even tell the difference. The one time you'll notice a difference is when you go to 50% or whatever on takeoff, and then I'm like, oh, I'm in a Neo, or because I have N1 gauges, it looks different than the EPR. That's the only time I really notice it, and this is gonna sound really bad.
So connected, and
but the last flight I did,
release parking brake.
I kid you not. So you have to keep track of all the different tail numbers in your fleet, because that's how you differentiate the equipment on each. So let's go ahead and release the brakes real quick here. Brakes release, you're clear to push.
Starting pushback.
So the last flight I did, I thought I was in a Neo the entire flight until I was walking away from the airplane. This sounds really bad, but I was walking away from the airplane, going up the terminal. I looked back to check my parking job, because every captain likes to check his parking job. Like, you want to see if you were on the line or not, see how good it was. Well, it was a decent one. It wasn't my best. But anyway, I'm walking away, and then I looked. I'm like, wait, we had IAE motors this whole flight? That's why we didn't have dual cooling available. I thought that there was no dual cooling just because the airplane had sat overnight. So really, when you get used to swapping and just seeing all the different gauges, it's really not that big of a deal. So it doesn't bother me one bit. But yeah, it sounds bad, but I thought we had the Neo motors all the way until I walked away from the airplane. Oh, that was IAE. Okay. Ever been to the Tony Luke's? Of course, Rex Royce. Tony Luke's, man. Of course, dude. Captain Shaquille O'Neal, what's up, man? He said, I just got back from a flight lesson. I had 2 landings. One was a greaser. Hey, Shaq, you walked away from both of them, so that's all that matters. And you got 1 greaser out of the 2, so 10 for 10, dude. Pour yourself a drink, man. Take the rest of the night off. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you here, man. Lawrence says, I don't know what EPR's telling me, but the dial ends up at the same place as the CFM. Yeah, exactly. So well, that's why I say at the 50% mark. So when you do an N1 spool at 50%, it's a little bit higher. That first tick mark is 50%, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, what am I looking? We can look at it. Let me come in here. Let me go here. So, oh, well, it's not powered yet. But the IAE engine, when you do, it's right about half a donut width or whatever. So that's when I really notice it, when I go to stabilize at 50% if it's IAE or N1. But apparently I didn't notice it that last flight. Yes, this is the new BSS sound pack for the 320, but Simone, it is the FT-Sim engine sounds. So his ground rule seems a little loud. Let's see if I can adjust that. Oh, I don't think can I? Turn that down a little bit. So I've taken a hybrid. So I did purchase the BSS IAE pack, but I want to have replay sounds, and I wasn't totally sold on it. Oh, check this out. More cactus showing up. I love to see that. 321 cactus. This is like when I used to fly back
Operations
there.
complete. Set parking brake.
All right, brake set, clear disconnect.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Stand by. This is kind of what I love seeing, that 321 Airways. So when I was based in Philly, merger hadn't happened yet. It was all, you had US Airways, you had some Americans, and then even after the merger, you still saw a ton of Airways aircraft there before they all got painted. So seeing this, these old terminals, I don't know what Philly airport this is, but this looks exactly like how it used to be. I spent way too much of my life in these terminals here in the bowels of Philly Airport. I'll never forget one time we parked the Airbus, and the ground crew, there was cops all over the place, and apparently one of the ground crew guys...
Philadelphia ground, American 5614 ready, taxi 271, Great Foxtrot.
One of the ground crew guys went and committed a crime. And so they had all the cops there, and they were, I lost my train of thought after being ear blasted from that Vatson guy. But anyway, I got a lot of Philly stories.
03 Mike, cross runway 27 right at Mike, and CO.
All right, there's the tug. There is the salute with the pin. So let's give him the Kawadi Mundi salute. If you're a member, you know all about the Kawadi Mundis. So Kawadi Mundi salutes in chat. Tug, pin, and salute. There it is. I might change it, but right now I try to find a Kawadi Mundi standing on his hind legs, kind of like what the one was doing on my podcast. So that's what that Kawadi Mundi salute is. It's kind of an inside joke for all members, but all right, jokes aside, let's go ahead and fire up these beautiful engines. We're going to go to ignition start. We got bleed pressure. I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to let you guys enjoy the sounds. Remember, this is the FT Sim hybrid sound pack with BSS. Let me know what you think.
American 1549, runway 27 left, taxi right, Kilo, November, cross 27 right at November, here in Kilo.
Roger, 27 right, 27 left, 8 Kilo, November, cross 27 left, or 27 right at November, 0 to 0, 1 American 1549.
Philadelphia ground, southwest 1405, ready to taxi. Southwest 1405, runway 27 left, taxi via Julia, Kilo 3, Mike, cross 27 right at Mike here.
That's some good juice. I'm not gonna, I mean, I'll say BSS is cleaner on the startup for sure, I think. But I don't know. I mean, just sitting here right now with the engine at idle, I'm not hating it. Let's go flaps 1. We'll do it from back here. Alright, where are we at? We have to figure where we're at here. So we're at spot 8. Let's do our after start checklist. That can come off. That can go to arm. We're flaps position 1. AP bleed can come off. Master can come off. Kill the dome light. And we are ready. What are we at? Spot 8. Let's go ahead. Let's do this. We're going to go brake release. We're going to go taxi light on. We're going to go cinematic pull up. Check out these engines here. We're going to stop at spot 8. But I want you to pay special attention to the shape of the inlets. They're not just circular.
And is it okay if we hold here? We have an issue with our flight management computer. If we can hold here for about 2 minutes, that'd be great.
Alright, hold there.
Look at the shape of that inlet. That is absolutely perfect. I don't know how loud it is for you, but I'm going deaf right now in the sim. I can't see my audio, so hopefully you guys still have some eardrums left. Now for that pizza you mentioned, Sam, I'm trying to remember what the name of the... Somebody's got to have the name of it. I'll think of it. They have an actual restaurant downtown. I used to know one of the gentlemen working there. He'd always hook me up. Like, hey. Oh, I should probably, do some actual work here. 3,000 initial.
November, cross is right at November, continue November here in 01.
Was it? Final out here.
Taxi by Juliet, November, cross 27 right at
He didn't give me an
27 left by 0.
altitude to climb to initially.
Southwest,
Oh, maintain 5,000. Yes, he did.
right on top of there.
Alright, we're gonna call this guy up.
1405.
Look at this. Another.
Sorry,
I just love this cactus party, man. This makes me so excited. We got Cactus, Alaska, Southwest, American, another Cactus. Love to see it. I still need to get a pen. I guess we'll do it the old school way.
By November.
I imagine it's going to be November, Papa Papa 2. This never used to be here when I was based here. Philly used to be a parking lot if there was any type of weather.
Contact Philly approach 128.4, have a nice flight. American 1549, correction, contact Philly Tower 118.5.
This actually feels like Philly sitting here trying to get a word in. Philly ground, good afternoon. Cactus 357, spot 8, taxi with India. Oh, it's not India.
Cactus 357,
Delta.
runway 27 left, taxi by November, cross 27 right at November, continue 001.
Alright, taxi 27 left via November, cleared across 27 right, Sierra Sierra 1, Cactus 357.
And American 5614, sorry about that. We can continue taxi.
November Sierra.
Okay, American 5614, there's a Cactus
Sierra 1.
757
Cool.
coming
Alright,
on
I got
your
it.
right, good later then.
Give way to the Cactus 757 for American 5614.
Brakes released. Let's go. Oh, I guess we'll give way to this guy.
Southwest 1405, you were number 2 for the runway, contact Philadelphia Tower 18.5. Contact Tower.
Absolutely legendary, Carda. Absolutely legendary. While we're going out, let's do our taxi checks. Full up, full down, neutral.
I'm sorry for American 5614. It looks like this U.S. Airways looks like they were not going to Sierra 3. That's what I was thinking for American 5614.
Crossing an
Alright,
active runway.
Correction, Cactus 989, hold position there. American 5614, can you make a right onto Papa 4?
Hey, firm, I can. Sorry about that for American 5614.
Clear left, clear across.
American 5614, no problem, make it right onto Papa 4, then hold position, please.
Right on Papa 4, hold position, American 5614.
I want to look at these engines, but I also don't want to run into the guy in front of me here. I remember lining up to take off 27 left, like you'd be way down here. Zulu, it's like number 60 or 40 in line. 60 is a little aggressive, maybe like 40 or so in line. Alright, we're clear of the active. We'll go back down and get that back off. Let's go auto brakes max, take off config check.
Taxi, yes, yes, yes. Taxi 001, that's 99.
Oh, disconnected. Why? It's probably like, I don't want to wait in line. Oh, now we got a good livery on. Hey, I'll take that. And he's got IAE motors. Alright, so we got to make a left on Sierra, Sierra 1. This guy's going the wrong direction. He obviously made a boo-boo.
American 5614, continue Papa 4, hold short of November.
Papa 4 for hold short November for American 5614.
Southwest on the roll. Man, I appreciate everyone jumping out and flying around here. I don't know if you guys did it purposely or not, but sure brings Philly to life. Alright, we are clear left, coming right. Or I'm sorry, clear right, coming left. Wow, opposite day. Those sounds, so Jet Jazz, this is so the way it works, if you have the BSS sound pack, so in order to get any IAE sounds, you need to buy the BSS CFM bass pack, or a bass pack is how he puts it. And then you have an option to go with the BSS IAE expansion pack, which I did. I actually checked it out first, and they weren't bad, but there's, like I said, there's a glitch above 325 knots, and I don't know. They were clean. I mean, they're good, clean sounds, but I wasn't overly impressed with them. I'll just say that. So, for I think they were like $19 or something. I don't know. I wasn't too impressed for the price point. Maybe it was $10. Either way, So I was speaking with Carda, and he's like, yeah, you can use the FT Sim Pack, which I believe if you're a patron, which I'm a patron too, I don't think it's free, but if you're a patron, you can use his FT Sim Pack, which kind of all it does is gets rid of the BSS engine sounds. So now you have BSS internals with FT Sim engine sounds, and the best part about that is you will now have sounds in replay mode, whereas a BSS pack and Flight Factor in general, you don't get sounds in replay mode. But with FT Sim, you do. Oh, look at this, with the sun coming up here. This is why we were going early morning. Looks so good. I'm not sure what that was. That's probably active sky. And I'm going to go ahead and turn that off right now.
Contact Philly Tower 18.5, have a nice flight.
18.5, have a good one, Cactus 357. Alright, 18.5 is up.
68, Philadelphia Tower, go ahead.
How do I turn that down?
Cactus 468, there's still a departure ahead of you. Just hold short.
How do I turn down active sky thunder? Sam says not surprised that Southwest was in front of the line. Oh yeah. Let's pay. Let's pay. They've already paid their way. All right, we'll go ahead and stop here. But why do I have thunder cracking in the background? We need to solve this problem. We're gonna go, what view? Let's go this view, and then we can see guys rolling as they take off. How often do you take intersection takeoffs? It's from a long time ago. Sorry about that. For convenience, yeah, we do, Whiskus, as long as you got the perf data. Active sky is definitely running. It's clear for thunderstorms, I agree. So let me try to go in here. Weather control, live weather is active. It's got to be an option, right?
Cactus 468, Philadelphia Tower, runway 27 left, line up and wait. Expect to add a 4-minute delay for in-shell spacing.
Mute the active sky and volume mixer. Oh, that's a great way to do it. Problem is, active sky is not in volume mixer. How is that a thing? That's weird. Got to see him take off though. Well, that's gonna get annoying.
Cactus 989, contact departure.
It only seems to be in the cockpit. To come out here and mow the grass, blocking the Sierra 2 intersection there. I'm going to go ahead and stop. So in Philly, the unwritten rule is you don't actually pull up and hold short unless tower advises you, because sometimes they'll send guys from the other direction. So even though I got a Sierra 1 departure, I'm going to stop here just in case somebody's coming from the other side. That way they can access the runway. Little 319 Cactus there. I got to love it. Just turn it down, Audio Manager. Yeah, but that's what's weird is active sky is not in... It's not in my audio manager. How is that a thing? Yeah, active sky is not showing in volume mixer. I'm looking at these audible, or let's see, visibility, cloud options. They have this audio options, but play wind shear, that's all alerts. Preferred audio device, selected audio volume. What if I just turn it all the way off? Let's see if that changes it. I don't think so, because I think I can still hear it. Try bringing. Oh, that's what it might be, Christian. You're right. You're right. Real quick, go environmental. Done. Thanks, Christian. You're a legend. The other Jason. Yeah, exactly. It's Phantom's fault. I didn't miss a radio call, did I? We're still holding short here. Look at those engines. We're gonna. Oh, I'm being a noob up here with the taxi light on while we're stopped. We'll sit here and look at this engine, this side. I don't know which view I like better, Carda. I really like this one here, where I can just see that spinner. Yeah, Carda. That's yeah. I think Fort George was right. It was the sound pack from FT Sim. Yep. We nailed it. That's why you guys are so smart. I knew someone would have the solution. Albuquerque yesterday, 32 gusting 52. Hey man, my friend literally texted me this morning. He was going into Pensacola. And if you guys know what the weather's going on there, the METAR was like 170 at 17, gusting 42 knots. And I believe the ILS is out of service down there.
468 heavy, turn left heading 230, wind 250 at 9.
Christian, salute, sir. Oh, that's cool. His lights came on. I love it. He said heavy, so he might be a heavy 330, but it was showing up as that different airline. But at least he's showing up as Cactus now. There you go. Push it up. Way up. Push it up. All the way.
Cactus 357, runway 27 left, line up and wait.
27 left, line up and wait. Cactus 357. All right, line up and wait. We're going to go top row on, taxi light on. Let's extend the lights, but not turn them on. Brakes released. Here we go. I love doing this right here. From this view, a little bit of thrust. I love that sound right there. That is classic IAE right there. I love that. All right, let's go ahead and turn on the runway here. I think I get. Yeah, see, it's much lower, Christian. But I'm gonna turn that environmental all the way down probably. I don't think there's any thunderstorms around here.
Cactus 468, contact departure 12824. Have a good flight.
See if we can line up from the wing view. How do we do? Not bad. Undershot it a little bit. Man, I wanted to take off with the lights. Oh, you know what? I'm late on my time. There we go. I know I'm adjusting sim time, but I wanted to take off it right at about 11. Brake set. There we go. Now we can really see some PBR work coming through. That looks real. That looks like a real photo right there. Philly in the background. This guy's sniffing APU exhaust or engine exhaust. How do you guys get perf data in real life to use Flight Smart app or Airbus AOC? Most likely it's going to be ACARS. So we'll do a weather request. You can get an uplink that way. Yeah, it's all digital though. We don't sit there and listen to METARs in the real airplane. Lauren V says, I got my pre-departure bourbon all set up. Well, cheers to you, Lauren. You and me both, courtesy of Fort George from yesterday. Stopped at the store on the way home. If you guys haven't already, it is Christian Adrian Ionsku's. It was his birthday yesterday, so wish him a happy birthday for me, would you? He's been around the channel a long time. He's a good dude. Blue Bear says gusts of 42 knots at Kitech would make a juicy stream. Blue Bear, I'm scared, man. We're going to do it. We're going to go real weather, real time. 74200 in there. I can't wait for that plane. I even flew that plane a little bit more after yesterday's stream, just kind of doing some more tweaks, and it's going to be an absolute blast. By Steel says 25-minute delay due to thunderstorms, so maybe we're not too far off with the thunderstorm sound. Let me pull up my radar here on my phone. Let me see what's going on. Ivan Music, I agree. The lights are way better in X-Plane as far as textures. When I say lights, I mean like runway lights, taxiway lights. They look much more realistic, in my opinion. Sam says those engines look more than ready. These are still the alpha version, and I know I saw the questions in chat a couple times. You know, this is only on the Flight Factor right now. His intention, I believe, Carda, correct me if I'm wrong, is to indeed make them available for the towless as well. But that'll be down the line. He's got to do some more modding, and it's like fine wine. You know, you can't rush it. The more Carda works, the better they are. I mean, just look at these suckers. Look at this engine spinning here. This is what is so hard to get right, I think, on the IAE, and he's absolutely nailed. It's not a perfect circle, and it's not squashed like a CFM, but he's absolutely nailed it. I mean, I'll even zoom in a little bit more. Look at that. You got all the latches on there. Just awesome. What's the left side look like? Ooh, yeah, that looks good too. Check the radar you posted in Discord. I'll just pull it up, Romulus. Oh, you know what? There is some weather out here. Look at that. Okay. Well, I guess we're not too far off. Might be a little hairy going up there doing a harbor visual, but we'll see. Now we can look at both of them. I really do feel like I'm in Philly sitting here waiting to take off. Jeremy Harvey says, fixed info page works finally? Yeah, I think it only works.
357 Philadelphia Tower. Then left heading 230, wind 250 at 9er, runway 27 left, clear for takeoff.
230 on the heading, runway 27 left, clear for takeoff, Cactus 357. Alright, light them up. What's our departure frequency? 28.4. Phantom forgot to put that in there as well. 28.4. Brakes release. Are you guys ready? We're going to do this. Spool them up 50. Yoga's in chat. Here we go. Oh yeah. Let's get back on the center line. 80 knots. Thrust set. V1. Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. Fly by. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Oh, heading. Start to turn at 400 feet. I got all kinds of things going on here. There's a freaking marker beacon going on. We're not doing the proper heading. Let's take a listen to the thrust reduction sound. Non-existent, alright. Thrust climb, open climb.
Cactus 357, contact departure, 128.4, good flight.
Over departure, have a good one, Cactus 357. Departure, good afternoon, Cactus 357. Oops, helps you depress the mic button. Before we do that, let's go flaps 0. Departure, good afternoon, Cactus 357 with 3.9, climb at 5,000.
Cactus 357, Philadelphia departure, good afternoon, sir, radar contact, turn left heading 100, proceed direct ditch, climb and maintain 12,000.
Left turn 100, direct to ditch, climb and maintain 10,000, Cactus 357. Alright, nothing like giving me everything at once. Whoa, lightning strike off the nose. Alright, 10,000 blue, thrust climb, open climb, direct ditch. We do have some storms around here. We're naving. Nav is blue, or nav is green. Carda, we're putting your engines in the rain here. We're definitely flying into a little bit of something here. Alright, no wonder we got thunderstorms around. I like this. It's much more fun than
Delta
flight
1169 heavy
sim.
turns left heading 360, descend to maintain 3000.
Alright, 6.2, climbing 10. We're well above ice of freezing, so we're good to go.
Delta 1169 heavy turns left heading 360, descend to maintain 3000.
Yeah, model Charlie, I don't know why they don't model thrust reduction. We'll pull Denzel, we're gonna go right through that storm right there. Push up the thrust levers. Approaching 1,000 to go. In heavy rain like this, I might go like this right here. We'll go ignition. Flying in heavy rain and a thunderstorm, especially if it's turbulent, I might go ignition on. Speed alt star, breaking out of the top. 1,000 to go, check, flyby. Oh yeah, we were definitely in some type of thunderstorm there.
Cactus 357, leaving my airspace. U2 is currently closed. Radar service is terminated. 52 is approved. Have a nice flight to Providence.
Over to Unicom, thank you sir, you have a good one, Cactus 357. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to immediately start climbing because we don't want to level in the tops. The tops are always more turbulent than most of the clouds that you see. So let's go ahead and, oh, I went way past it. 240 is our
Delta
top altitude.
1169, sir. Confirm your descent to 3000, sir. Have you
First climb,
climbed
open
5,000?
climb. We're going to go lights off here. Ding the flight attendants, let them know we're through 10.
Yes, sir.
You know what, we got a little bit of a storm right there. Since we're on Unicom, I'm going to heading left. We're going to avoid the buildups there. And the last thing we do need to set up here is Unicom 22.8. I really need to do another multi-crew stream with Phantom. 22.8 for Unicom is set. We're in heading mode. Get away from this clouds here. Carda says try not to scratch them up before the release. Exactly. A dude is like, don't get them dirty. Hey, we're just giving them a little wash, that's all. Just a little wash, Carda. Just a little wash, that's all. Let's go ahead and climb out of 300 since it's a little bit turbulent. We'll go ahead and kill the ignition now. Do another flyby. Looks like they're wet or something. They don't look as glossy. What happened? Maybe it's because there's a wet effect. Default clouds? No, this is, well, default clouds, but it's active sky. So yeah, active sky, high resolution clouds, that's the only modification I have to my weather. What were I saying about the fixed info, Jeremy? Yeah, I think it only works on that test mode, right? Because I don't think it works for this one, right? Let's do PWM. Yeah, see, I don't think it works for stable. I think you have to be in the experimental, which I don't like running experimental flight factor on anything. So I want to turn down, I need that other, oops, sound. Let's turn this down a little bit more. Do I prefer the IAEs in real life, Ranger Rick? Yes, absolutely, man. Any chance the stream is both alpha and beta testing? Unfortunately, it's not. They are BSS sounds mode, Charlie, and the engines are FT Sim. Thank you for the subscribe there, Anton. Flight Factor has released the stable for Fix Info. I'm pretty sure I'm on the latest version. Okay. So let me clear that out. Let me go PWM. And let's put a 30-mile radius around that. And then what we're going to do now is we're actually going to go direct to wavy, insert that. We're navin'. So now we're going to set standard. We're just about to go through 18 standard set STDs for you and me. 1, 2, 3. We're going to go plan mode here. I want to see if it is indeed modeled. I don't see a radius around Portland, so it's half modeled, at least for me anyway. Maybe I need an update. Like there should be a radius around there, and I should also have lat longs, and so it's kind of half modeled. Maybe I need to do an update. I wasn't aware there was a new update. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this down a little bit though. We're out of here. Oh, there we go. See, now the textures changed back. Look at that. Look at that. Here we go. We're going to set it right there for a minute. Let me get caught back up to the chat there. A little busy on the departure. I apologize if I missed your messages. I feel like I had some good questions. I'm going to try to scroll back. But Dougal McTavish. Gosh, I'm sorry if I missed this. So this new overlay for me doesn't pop up the donations as much as I'd like, so I'm gonna have to change that. Dougal, I almost missed your dono, man. Thank you so much. $25 bomb. He says, time for another bottle of bourbon, and thanks for streaming in EU hours again. Dougal McTavish. Well, thank you so much for your very generous donation, man. I appreciate your support. Dougal, huge influence on the company, man, or on the community, not company. Jeez. Huge influence on the community. I love having you around in chat. Thank you so much for your support. Definitely going to be refreshing the drinks here. And of course, EU streaming hours. Yeah, I like to mix it up. You know, there are some nights where I kind of just want to do an evening stream US time and you know, really throw a couple back. And then there's days where I kind of want to get up early and stream too. So I try to get a good mix, but I know you EU guys especially appreciate me streaming a little bit earlier on my time. So I love having you around, Dougal. Thank you so much, man, for that dono. Appreciate it. Rusty C, member for 5 months. Celebration, dude. Thank you for being a member for so long. I appreciate that. Says, hey there, Captain. Nice to see you back in HD. Rusty C. I hope the stream is looking okay. Can you guys tell a difference? If anybody's been watching the streams lately, even from yesterday's stream, is there any noticeable difference at all in picture quality? Let me know in chat, because I've been trying different tweaks and different settings, and I'm getting to the point where I think I might just wipe everything and do a fresh construction of the stream settings. But you guys let me know if you notice any difference at all in picture quality. Where can you download the mod? It is still being worked on. Still being worked on. Never got range wings to work in the Flight Factor. See? Okay, so maybe it isn't just me. I do not know if... yeah, I'm pretty sure Zebo does have SimBrief integration. They have everything. Travis says, I'm convinced Dougal is 8 different people. It seems like it, man. Steel C, I don't know. I don't know, Carda, if you noticed that at all. If you saw that... what was it? Like it almost looked like they were washed out, but I feel like the whole airplane did. I don't know if that was a Flight Factor thing or not. And then it flickered back to your normal textures here. Blue Max has big difference? Okay, all right, well, that's good to know. Sounds like we're leveling off already. Did we already climb up here? Speed out star 240. What does they want for managed speed? It wants 330. We'll see how loud that is. 310 miles to go. You know what? I'm going to change our cruise altitude. Let's make it... Actually, let's do it like a proper Airbus. Optimum 39. Okay, well, that's not what the real Airbus would say. So let's do 34. How's that sound? 34 set. 310 on the climb out. Let's rock and roll. Let's get another flyby in here. Not bad, not bad. Ranger Rick says, seems better, but often for me it starts out 480, then slowly goes to 180. Yeah, see, that's what it is. It's the camera angle when I move, and it has to reload. I don't know how to fix that, and I'm pretty much maxing out YouTube on their bitrate. They got a 9,000 limit. I'm doing right now. We're uploading at 9,400, so I'm sure YouTube's only taking 9,000 of that, but I could see what it's taken. It's between 94 and 9,200 upload. So there's got to be something else going on. Carter says it's just X-plane lighting. It might be. Christopher 11, that's what I thought, man, but it's not a bitrate issue then. So something else is dragging that. I might have something maybe in my YouTube settings that I'm going to have to change, but variable RMTP. Maybe I have to adjust the latency. On the next stream, I'm going to try a latency, see if that changes it. I don't think that will change anything, but I have to figure something out. Sin City, you got 3-1 planned? All right, cool. I'll be in the ballpark with you then. What do you do if an engine starts to surge in real life? Thrust lever affected engine to idle? Jeremy, yes. So depending on the nature of the surge, but most likely, and I always hate to just say yes in every situation you're going to bring it to idle, but a surge, you got to kind of like, what is it? Is it a compressor stall, or you got a fuel metering unit problem? But generally speaking, yes, the number one reaction is going to be to bring back the power on that engine, just so you can kind of stabilize it, get it in parameters. In fact, oh, that reminds me, I wanted to go through a Gen 2 fault with you guys today. It's a real short procedure, but this actually told us Flight Factor has it modeled very well. I'm going to activate it. So basically, we're going to go here, and within 5 minutes or so, average, we should get a Gen fault, and we're going to work through it. Very simple procedure, but Flight Factor's got it modeled pretty good. What kind of speeds does the Airbus climb at with low cost index after 10,000? I think after, with the low cost index, you're going to be in that 270 range, maybe 280. So rarely do I see the airplane transition, even at cost index 0, below like 7.6 Mach. And again, it's going to depend on other factors as well, like what's your weight, what's the OAT, what's the winds aloft doing. So in real life, there's a bunch of different factors. I'm not exactly sure how the fly-by-wire mod adjusts for cost index, but generally speaking, 270-ish, 290, you're going to be in that range. A higher cost index, you're going to be up there 300, 330, cost index 99. Portland, Maine, thank you, Sin City. He says 10 miles, broken 2,500, broken 3,200, broken 5,000, 26, 2972. Beautiful. Looks like we'll be able to sneak it. 180 at 6. We've got a 6-knot tailwind. Brandon M says, I remember a few months ago you mentioned you had to do a 3-point landing and file a 7 report. It wasn't quite a 3-point landing. What are you referring to? Are you referring to my Atlanta Smasher in the 321? I don't recall doing a 3-point landing. I don't think I've 3-pointed the Airbus. That would be pretty bad. I've seen it done. I've seen a 3-point landing in Airbus. It is not something that you want to be a part of. I will say, my last landing and the airplane that I thought was a Neo the entire flight was absolute juice. It was very, very buttery. Uh-oh, sounded like we just had a failure there. Did you hear that? I heard the click. So we missed it. So what'll happen is these screens go blank. Let's go ahead and deal with this right now. All right, I have control, ECAM actions, clear the caution, identify. Electric Gen 2 fault. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get the APU started up first. I know I got a generator offline. All right, Gen 2 off, then on. So up here, Gen 2 off, and then back on. If unsuccessful, Gen 2 off. You could see that the galley has been shed. APU generator is not online. Generator 2 is offline. Generator 1 is now powering the entire electrical system. So Gen 2 fault reset unsuccessful. Gen 2 off. Clear electric, clear electric. Status. Read status. In-op systems, we have generator 2 in-op. Clear status, clear status. All right, I'm going to the COM. Now, the COM is basically your company procedures or the additional Airbus procedures that you need to apply. It basically says crew awareness at this point, single generator, and a couple other systems limitations. So there we go. We've got a generator in-op, but we have the APU online. And now, if we pull up the electrical page, oops, you'll see that the APU generator is now powering the AC bus 2, and AC bus 1 is powered by itself, so now we have our redundancies again. So if we lose Gen 1, APU will power both. If we lose the APU gen, the generator 1 will power both buses again. So again, pretty cool to see that. Not a big deal. We're good there. Let's go ahead and clear that electrical page, and let's call up ATC Boston Center. Contact me on 34.7. So now we got to write that up in Portland, and the next crew is not going to be happy about that. 31 climbing 340. Center, good afternoon. Cactus 357 with 30.6 climbing flight level 340.
Cactus 357, Boston Center, Squawk 4715.
Squawk 4715, Cactus 357. 4715 in the squawk. Back to Carda juiciness. Why do I say clear twice? Jeremy, I'm talking for both pilots. So it'd be clear status, clear status. It's a question response.
Cactus 357 is radar contact 24 miles southwest of Calverton. And what altitude did you say you're going to?
Yeah, we filed 24, but it was a bumpy ride, so we're climbing up to 340. Is that going to work out for you, Cactus 357?
Cactus 357, it's not. For direction of flight, I can give you a 33 or 35.
We can take 33.
Cactus 357, climb and maintain, flight level 330.
Climb, maintain, flight level 330, Cactus 357. Cool. So even Phantom 320 can't file a proper altitude for cruise. But we got it settled out. Sin City says we got an ATC in Portland. Awesome. Hopefully they'll let us sneak in on the backside of that 2.9. And I was still finishing your question there, Jeremy. So yeah, you asked what happens? Do you have to shut down if you have a compressor stall? It will depend on how bad the stalls are. I mean, if you bring that thrust back, that's number one probably gonna stop it from compressor stalling. Now you may increase thrust slowly. I'd probably turn the auto thrust off. I mean, I know I would. That'd be the first thing I'd do is turn the auto thrust off, bring that power to idle. Now you got one engine operating, and then if the compressor stalls stop, I might bump that thrust lever up a little bit. Why don't I just get another
Boston Center, American 56, 14 with you, 18.5 for 290, 5 miles from Jimmy Waypoint.
This is in the shade. This is in the sun. Let's go back over here.
American 5614.
I just learned so much in 3 minutes. Lee Cran, go for it, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Glad you're learning. That's what this channel's for.
American 5614, say again the code you're smoking.
If you haven't already, hit that like button for me.
3043 for American.
Does help the channel out.
5614.
Appreciate you guys' support.
American 56.
What are the backups for a hydraulic failure? Anthony, we could talk for an entire day and you'd still be in the dark.
290 for American 5614.
Essentially, everything is backed up through each individual system. So what it boils down to is you can fly this airplane on one hydraulic system. It doesn't matter which one it is. You can fly it. May not be pretty, but as long as you have one hydraulic system, you can fly it. Now, the way that you get to all the different sets of redundancies is a headache, to say the least, and how to get through it all. Ranger Rick says, gotta go watch the rest later. Take it easy, Ranger Rick. Thanks for stopping by, bud. Sin City says, I ended up picking up the TCA side stick. Thanks for you. Sin City, awesome, man. Glad you enjoy it, dude. I do have to put a little bit of curve or saturation on this flight factor. I feel like the flight factor is very pitch sensitive. So I've added a little bit of dampening, but that's it. How difficult to fly is a 74200? I wouldn't say difficult, but it is a lot. So once you understand what needs to be done, it's not like it's hard, because I mean it's basic modes. You got vertical speed, you got IAS hold, you got Mach holds, you got the autopilot. The way it works is very different than any other Boeing, but it's not hard. It's just unique. And once you start to get some practice with it, you're like, okay, I got it. But it requires a lot of attention. I mean, just a simple descent. I mean, okay, am I going to do a vertical speed descent, or what am I going to do? Altitude select, altitude hold. So what's my auto thrust mode in? So there's a lot of different things you got to be checking and being in tune with, which in my opinion is why I enjoy it so much. I really love flying that airplane around.
Air France 006, request descent. Air France 6, cross straight, how to maintain.
Yes, Rex, even IFR. East is west, or east is odd, west is even. How does the fault affect your burn and range? Well, it will definitely affect your fuel burn a little bit. And you can pull up charts to figure out which one, like, you know, how much you're going to burn on the APU, but we got 1.9 kilos extra, which is still looking good. We're burning. Let me go to my fuel page. Actually, I can't see what it's burning, but if you have, so why does this say switching? Oh,
what waypoint are you going direct to?
so if the next crew, so with this exact fault, like what everything has just happened, after you get it on Portland, down on the ground in Portland, I would write it up, put it in the maintenance book. Maintenance would come out, they defer the generator, and then you have to do a couple different checks on the ground before each flight. But the next crew that takes the airplane, or if you're keeping the airplane, your next dispatch release will have the added fuel burn penalties available for you in your flight planning paperwork. So if you were super tight on gas, you know, if the APU was making a difference between you flaming out and you landing, you got bigger issues to worry about, because you should never get in that situation to begin with. But the next flight with this type of failure will definitely have all those pre-planning numbers for you to look at. It'll show you the extra burn. They'll give you extra gas for fuel burn all the way on the APU. So yes, it does matter, but in this particular aspect, short flight like this, we got plenty of extra gas. Not going to change much up front.
Frontier Flight 2278, radar contact 33.
Aaron, yes, I remember seeing your question there. It says, what is that loud rumbling, vibrating sound when the nose wheel lifts off? I've always wondered what it is. It's a great sound. Is it realistic? So, yes. So what I think the ESS pack is modeled there is, when you're going down the runway, you're believe it or not, you're not directly on the center line, depending on where the center line lights are. So some runways, the center line lights are offset. Some are right down the middle, and sometimes we call them turtles. But you can, if you're hitting each light, you'll hear that bum 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 bum. So what I do personally, and what other guys do, and what I think BSS modeled with that sound is, if you're going down the runway, you're going to be slightly offset, maybe just, you know, a foot or two left or right of center line. But then as you go to rotate, you always want to be straight down the goalpost, is how I was taught. You always want to make sure you are dead center as you rotate, because if you have an engine failure right there at V1, right past V1, you're going to get that yawing moment. You want to make sure you are over the runway as center as possible. So a lot of times I'll bring that nose right over dead center right before rotation, and you can feel, you'll start hitting those bumps, the turtles or the lights, the bump, bump, bump. And then as soon as you rotate, you'll hear that, basically, it's not a squat switch because it's all proximity sensors, but that little click sound you hear right after rotation is the safety release mechanism inside of the panel, keeping that gear lever down, because in theory you won't be able to lift the gear handle up on the ground. You're never supposed to test it, but in theory you can't lift it up on the ground. So that clack that you hear immediately after rotation is the aircraft sensing the proximity being higher above the ground. That mechanical latch goes away, and then as soon as you go gear up, you hear that secondary thud sound, like that boom. That is the hydraulic pressure releasing and the doors opening, and the mechanical retraction sequence beginning for the nose gear. So it is a realistic sound, but it's only realistic if you do the takeoff roll like I prescribed. If you take off exactly 1 foot left of the centerline lights, you're never going to hear that bumping sound going down the runway. All that is he recorded that sound when someone was going over the turtles down the runway. But it is realistic. If you do it that way, that is realistic.
How about that?
I wonder if I can turn this down a little bit here. I think we should go outside, shall we? I'm going to turn this down. Watch your ears for a second. Oh, Carda engines, baby. Zoom it out. Look at that shot. I love, like, Carda's attention to detail down here on the bottom. Let me zoom in on it. Let me just get all up in here. I mean, I could read this. Look. Look at the detail. Stand clear of hazard areas while engine is running. Here's your hazard area, 15 foot. You got the phone jack, hoist points all around here. You got the vent overflow, which can be pretty hot. I mean, you got the no handheld down there. Awesome. I love his attention to detail on the vent work, especially on this livery. That blue and silver looks absolutely juice. Camps is catching up midstream. I did a full study of the green, blue, yellow hydraulic systems. It's a must for everyone that is serious about their Airbus flying. Hope all is well. Cam, welcome to the stream. Absolutely, man. We might have to do some hardcore hydraulics. I did a hydraulics video a long time ago. It's on one of the playlists. I think it's the Airbus Pilot series where I talked about the PTU and the use of the hydraulics on the ground. So, yeah, that could be a good idea for a stream. Maybe just dedicate a week to Airbus hydraulics and do a couple streams with different hydraulic issues. Do runway lights affect tire lifespan? I am not sure. I would imagine so. Jeremy, you were on a Delta flight when we had an extract vent fault and a blower fault. We didn't defer it even though the valves were in the open position. That's not a big deal. Sometimes I turn those or open those when somebody farts in the cockpit. But yeah, so the vent fault, override extract. So these are going to fail open, or I don't know if they fail open actually. I would imagine they might fail close. No, because then it would overheat. Probably fail open. I'd have to look that up. But that's interesting, yeah. So that valve is right here, is what you're talking about, Jeremy. Did you know that you got 2 FOs flying right now? Just zoom on the pilot models? No. I didn't know that. Are they FOs on the pilot models? Well, that would make sense.
Cactus 468, glitter X dog. Cactus 468, cross dogs, that maintain 1.11,000.
Did I, Chris Duper asked me, most Airbuses I bring in have their flaps and slats down. Why is that? Flaps and slats down. Turn this down a little bit more. I don't know why that would be. If they're in position 1, Chris, are you somewhere hot, like Vegas, or just somewhere hot in general? If it's above, it depends. It depends on what your SOP says. Some is 35C, some is 40. But if it's 35C, I think is what Airbus initially came out with. If it's 35C, depending on the mod you have on your aircraft, you're supposed to hang the flaps and slats position 1 after landing. So basically you would retract the flaps to position 1 on your after landing checklist, and that's to prevent a nuisance bleed leak warning or overheat detection warning on the slats. So if you were to retract the flaps all the way to 0 and the slats come in, during engine shutdown, there is a possibility that there'd be some overflow venting and it would get trapped, and combine that with the high OATs, you would actually get an ECAM in the cockpit, which is a pain on the butt to clear, and you got to go verify that it works. And I think you actually have to run the engines to sign off that ECAM. So to prevent that from happening, 35C, some operators, 40C for others, you just leave the flaps at 1. And again, it will depend on the mod that you have on your aircraft. It just depends on like what motors you have, what slats, and a bunch of different options. But if they're at flaps full, I don't know why that would be. That's interesting.
Airbrand 6, cross Calverton, out of maintain 12000.
Oh, Carda, you're right.
Kennedy altimeter 2982.
So, we have magnificent under grease. Maybe hard to see because we're on a blue livery. Check out the detail underneath here, guys. Let's pick one. Let's pick this one. Look at the detail underneath here, guys. I'm going to zoom it in so you can see it. So, this is very true. Caution, make sure... Uh-oh. Descend and maintain 240, cactus 357. Alright, let me finish this.
Cactus 357, descend across Skog, descend and maintain 11000, forward altimeter 2972.
Descend and maintain Skogs 111000, cactus 357. Alright, we'll stand by on that. So look at this. Key required for opening, forward latch. Caution, make sure the fan cowl doors are fully latched when closed. So, these are your fan cowl latches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you actually have thrust reverser latches, TR reverser latches, which are over here. I think there's one there. There's 2 right there. And are these little pins. And these can pop out. And I actually saw, I did a pre-flight on one where these were open. They should have been closed. But, I mean, look at that. And depending on the livery, you'll have some really good under grease. All right, we got to cross Skogs 11,000, which is already in the box, 11,000. And we're going to go ahead and set 11,000 blue. I don't know why I'm operating this in hundreds. 11,000 is set. We got that. We're looking good. 125 miles out. When is our program top of descent here? Oh, we never reached climb? No, we're in climb.
297 is 5 miles from Focus, maintain 2000.
We never reached top of climb. There we go. Got to recycle the FMA there, or recycle the FMGC. So there we go. So that's now we're at cruise mode. So now top of descent in 15 miles. Let's do a little bit of work here. Let's pull up.
Cactus 357. How far are you from top of descent?
We're waiting about 14 miles. We can start down now if you'd like.
Cactus 357. If you don't mind, just go ahead and start out now. That'll help me with your speed.
Not a problem. Cactus 357 vacating 330 to cross Skogs 11,000.
Thank you. And Blue Streak 50, 52.
All right, we're going to start our descent down early. Not a big deal. Let's look at our approach phase. Let's go ahead and set some of this stuff up here real quick. Let me get rid of all this nonsense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put PWM in here. I really hope he'll let us do the 2-9 approach, but...
Cactus 184, Boston Center, Squawk 4634.
And there we go. That's fine. We'll just leave this up here for now until we know exactly what we're going to get. That initial altitude change he gave was wrong level, or wrong? Yeah, so we were going eastbound on... Yeah, Al, you're right, man. I should have been like, whoa, are you sure? But, I mean, he's working traffic in this approach sector, so I'm sure he had his reasons. All right, let me pull it back to sky here real quick. According to this, 170 at 8. Well, that's not the right spot for that. 170 at 8. Temperature 29. Altimeter 2972. Alright, so since I want to do the hand-flown harbor visual, I'm going to set 500 as a warning to me, which is basically just an autopilot disengagement height. So that's why I'm not putting an actual minima in there. But we may have to change that depending on what we get. Thrust idle, here we go, we're coming back. Oh, lag out.
Cactus 468, contact full and approach, showing 9.75.
Anyway, the detail on the engine is absolutely ridiculous. And you're going to see on the replay, the reverse thrust is fantastic. That's one of my favorite parts is the 3D model he's got around the reverser door and just the attenuators in the back. It's just next level stuff. Jeremy, you want an EIS-1 bus? Sin City, I do need to do an old school, what is it, like midnight blue, where it's just all blue and dark gray? What is flex temp? How do you calculate it? Basically, it's a reduced thrust takeoff. The higher the flex number, the less thrust that you are using for takeoff. Simple as that. How do you calculate it? We get ours from Aerodata. Just do what the company performance gives you. But rule of thumb, don't flex if there's wind shear. Don't flex in the rain or contaminated runways. Don't flex if you need the performance for terrain. And don't flex, this is a big one, if the outside air temperature, well, depends on your flex number, if the outside air temperature is within 10 degrees of your flex. So if it's 35 C and you want to flex 40, you can't do it. You got to go Toga. Oh, Chris Stuper, Vegas? Yeah, so that's it. That's why, man. That's exactly why. Gux says, hey, it's your ground controller from Philly. Thanks for flying out. Best frequency I've controlled so far. Gux, thank you so much, man, for hopping online and giving us some ATC. I really appreciate that, man. That really, I was not expecting that at all. I mean, I don't have a typical huge following on VATSIM when I stream, and that was awesome. It just brought Philly to life, man. So I appreciate you hopping on there and giving us some ground control. You guys do a lot of work to become VATSIM controllers, so mad respect to you guys. And again, I appreciate you coming online, giving us a little ATC. That was awesome. James, I'll request it. Travis, I agree, man. This livery on this Airbus is just too good. And exactly, this channel is a no flex zone. All right, I don't do this much, but we're gonna go a headshot view, because if you guys use the IAE mod that's out right now, which it's fine. I mean, I used it for many years, but you'll notice right here. Let me kind of zoom in. So look at the shape of this inlet. The shape of the inlet is not exactly square, and that is by design, and that is how it is in real life, and that is just absolute juice. Love the animations. You can see the hot section of the engine in there, and then that's all bypass air. So looking through the engine like this with the blades at this speed, you can see that this is where your bypass air is. So your bypass ratio, or the ratio between bypass air and compressed and exhaust. Basically, this is the bypass air, and then everything that goes through the hot section is your turbo jet exhaust or turbo air. I can't think of the technical term. Anyway, let's get back on it here. Get our volumes back up a little bit. 19.2, we're descending. We said 2972 on the box, so we're going to go 2972 is set. 2972 is set. We're going to go low brakes, full flaps, full reverse. I never did turn the seatbelt sign off, but YOLO, short flight. Gen 2 is in op. It's not going to affect this for landing, so we're good to go. Let's go to this view right here. Let's get full pylon effect. Pylon vibes right here.
Cactus 357, contact float approach on 119.75.
1975, Cactus 357, see ya. Well, I guess no pylon vibes for you. Portland actually has an ATIS online too. Let's probably check this out. Portland landing and departing run 1. Aw, bravo. Aw. 2972, what are the winds? 180 at 8. What? 180 at 8? And they're landing... Oh yeah, that would make sense. Quartering tailwind versus quartering headwind. Portland approach. Good afternoon, Cactus 357. We're 15-4 descending across Skogs. 11,000 information at Delta.
Cactus 357, Portland approach. Information, Bravo is good, Portland altimeter 2972. Let me guess, you want the harbor visual?
Yes, sir. That was going to be my next request, and that was my mistake. We do have information at Bravo. I just don't have my glasses on today, and we are requesting the harbor visual 29 if possible.
Cactus 357, thank you for Bravo, expect the harbor visual runway 29 approach.
Roger, we'll expect harbor visual 29, Cactus 357.
Cactus 468, heavy cleared, harbor visual runway 29 approach. Cactus 189, contact Portland Tower 120.99, have a good day. 0.99, thanks up.
Screaming down to catch up to Skogs at 11,000. All right, so now that we're going to get the harbor visual, which is absolutely fantastic, what I'm going to do is, let's do a couple things here. We're going to pull up the approach plate here, which they actually have it in here, which is awesome. And it's an all visual procedure. So we're going to hand fly it. I'll probably keep the autopilot on until we cross REM Island. But essentially what we need to do is we're going to go over Cape Elizabeth, either to the left of it or to the right of it, depending on where we get the vector in. We got to identify the islands. Now in X-Plane, it's kind of hard to find exactly where they are, but basically you got to look for 6 islands. So you have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and you're going to go right between both of them. So the way X-Plane islands are, we might get a little hairy on one, but essentially you're going to come up through here. You're going to make the left turn around the lighthouse, up the river, and then overcross the bridge. 2 bridges, I-295 and US 1 bridge, into Portland, Maine. Now we do have a nice Portland, Maine airport scenery, which does have this bridge modeled, so that'll be cool to see, and we also have replay, which is even better. So we'll try to just fly a good approach first, and then we'll make sure we get a good replay. One thing that I like to do here, so now that you kind of seen that, what we're going to do, I'm going to go plan mode, we'll pull up the legs page here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the ILS 29 in the box. Now we're speed alt star, leveling, we're slowing to 250, which is fine. And I'm not going to be following this. Once we get cleared for the approach, I'm just going to basically pull heading. I'm going to shoot a line off of Pete intersection. But Pete is essentially out here by the island, and you can see this if I load up the ILS 29 approach chart. The fix for Pete, the final approach fix, is just inside of that first little island there. So we're going to go around like this. So Pete is just kind of a reference for me. I know I'm going out and around Pete, and I'm eventually joining back in. Now, you want to be careful that you do not follow the glide slope. This particular approach, I suck at it. I haven't done it in a long time. I'm probably going to get a glide slope warning, but it'll be a nuisance warning. We'll check it just like we check our bank angle check. And we're going to make sure we stay on course here over the river. You're looking for about 500 feet. The last window you really want to be looking for is going to be about 500 feet as you roll out here wings level. So you got to do what you got to do around here. We're going to configure, probably be fully configured before we enter the harbor, but you want to be looking fully configured definitely and about 500 feet as you roll out of this turn here, and it should give you a nice straight up lineup for runway 29. So that's the game plan. That's your approach briefing. You've been briefed. I've been briefed. We have 1 generator in op, which shouldn't be a big deal. Descend and maintain 4,000. Report in sight. Cactus 357. All right, so he wants to report Elizabeth in sight, which will be over here. We're down to 4,000. We're getting ready to go through 10, so let's go ahead and we have ATC, so we're going to just go ahead and turn those both lights on. And what I like to do as well, terrain on ND also helps you identify the cape. And also, if you want to be cheeky and cheat, you have this tool here. So Cactus 468, look, this is cool. He just hit the cape. So Cactus 468, he's going to go out here. Look, these guys are all doing the harbor visual. Look at that. And this is what I mean. X-plane islands are a little bit off. So you got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So yeah, it's pretty good. He looks like he may have cut that in a little early, but this map isn't exactly accurate either. So we could probably kind of cheat and just report the cape in sight and head there now. which would relieve him of his duties. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to select speed 250. I'm going to activate, confirm the approach phase, and let's go ahead and call it inside. It's just off the about 11:10 o'clock there. And approach Cactus 357, we have Cape Elizabeth in sight.
Cactus 357, cleared harbor visual with 29 approach.
Cleared harbor visual, 29 approach, Cactus 357. All right, we're going to head to the Cape. We're cleared approach. A light comes on, and here we go. We're going to go flight plan. I'm going to go direct off of Pete 111, insert, and then pull heading again so I don't intercept it. And now I've cleaned up my ND box. Let me zoom way in on it so you can see what I'm talking about. So there's Pete all by itself. That's kind of my reference. I've got this pretty awful depiction of a ground radar here from Flight Factor, but that can kind of help. The Cape's over here. We're going to kind of shoot up through there. So just all for situational awareness. I'm going to put on the LS push buttons as well. But what will help you is the vertical deviation donut, the green China hat, will help you out on this approach. So you can see now also on this map, I've got us a nice little heading. We're gonna kind of heading ourselves over to the Cape, which is right over here. We're just sending 4,000. Let's pick up that rate of descent. A little bit of spoid brake action, and a little bit of Carda Jowol pylon love right here. XP72, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. Check out these IAE engines from Carda Jowol, dude. These things are absolutely next level. Next level IAE engine mod. And you can really tell here on the shape of the inlet, all the attention to details. XP, I believe you're streaming later tonight, right? You're streaming in the freighter, I believe. A300, that ought to be fun. But good to see you, XP. Hope you had a great weekend, bud. Alright, we do need to get down. We're getting a little bit high here. So let's go spoid brakes. We're going to help ourselves out. We're going to give ourselves an extra turn in. And I can kind of start to see what's going on.
357, contact Portland Tower 120.9. Have a good day.
20.9. Good day, Cactus 357. So here's Portland, Maine. This is where Cape Elizabeth is. So we're going to kind of cut across, because you can see here there's two ways to do it. You can do it from inland or you can do it from outside. We're going to do it from outside. So we're essentially over here, and we do need to get down. There's our islands. We're going to be high and fast and unstable. So I'm going to go autopilot off, full spoid brake, and Portland Tower is 120.9. I'm going to set 3,000 because we are cleared the visual. And what was tower? I should have done that before I turned the autopilot off. 20.9. A lot happening here. I got the FMA flashing at me and everything. Alright, here we go. Back inside. Flight director's off. 1,000 level off from 3,000. Check. Why are we in speed mode? Let's go ahead and go. Auto thrust is done. We'll go full manual on this one. Auto thrust off. Give me the bird. Give me the bird in chat. Portland Tower, good morning, Cactus 3, or good afternoon, Cactus 357 on the Harbor Visual 29er.
Cactus 357, Portland Tower, good afternoon, wind 180 at runway 29, clear to land, reduced to final approach speed, traffic is a heavy A310 at your 11 o'clock and 4 miles, caution wake turbines.
Roger, we're looking for the traffic, slowing to final, Cactus 357. Alright, so we've got replay mode, check that, flaps 1, we got to get down and slow down. So here's the islands. We're going to cut right between these islands. We're not going to cheat. We're going to go right up the river after we get in. I don't know if we're going to be able to slow down in time, guys. Let's level here at 2,000. We're going to be all right. I hope we don't eat this guy up. We got replay mode, so I'm not worried about the views right just yet. Let's go flaps 2. Manage this for approach speed. Fort George is right there. Literally,
Cactus
Fort George.
357, you can maintain 170 knots until final.
170 to final, Cactus 357. Spoid brake stowed. Flaps 3, that's right, we're already slowing down. We can only do so much. FAP, they are cleared to land. Or they are down to land. Entering the port here. Spoilers arm. Flaps full. We are higher than a van full of hippies right now. We need to get down. So
Cactus 468 Heavy, welcome to Portland. Right turn hotel, right turn Alpha to the terminal.
We are needing to get down. Here we go, bank angle check. This will be good for cinematic replay purposes. All right, 1,000 feet. Whew, stable, clear to land. Keep coming down. See, this vertical deviation donut is correct for the most part. Here's your final turn here. Just kind of follow the river. Now you can see I'm intercepting that glide slope, which is pretty good. Starting to make out the runway. We salvaged that approach. I don't know how. 2 whites, 2 reds out of the turn. Right about 500 feet here as we roll wings level.
500 minimum.
Pretty darn good if you ask me. I don't know how we pulled that one out. We had about 42 bank angle checks. Now we're actually high again. Float factor coming at you.
200.
10 knot quartering tailwind, just what I like.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 10, 5.
Spoilers. How about some centerline control? $70 knots. Manual brakes. That's just my rudders being a little wonky there, but ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Portland.
Cactus 357, welcome to Portland. Right turn Foxtrot, right turn Alpha to the terminal.
Fox Alpha Terminal, Cactus 357, thank you. Fox Alpha Terminal, here we go. We got 209 on this one. I don't know what the other landing rate showed. 209 on this one. We got 42 feet above threshold, came in a little bit low, 3 feet off center line. I don't really judge center line control after touchdown with these rudder pedals, but we were a little bit unstable coming down. Fox ramp. Let's go ahead and clear it off here. We'll go taxi, kill you, kill you. And stow the spoid brakes. Flaps up. And after landing checklist. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Portland. Well, Carda, we did not damage your engines. We got them wet, and we got them a little unstable, but we did not damage them. I'm taxing like a tail dragger here on Foxtrot, going around the center line left and right. Freaking love those engines, man. I'm gonna look forward to that replay. We'll wind it all the way back. We'll see the whole approach. What's the benefit of not going with managed speed auto thrust? Oh, just because if you noticed when I turned the auto thrust off, I just brought them to idle at like what, we were at like 2,000 something feet. I didn't even increase thrust one time until we were almost about 1,000 feet. Added just a little bit of power there as we came up the river. So, I mean, that was just managing energy of the airplane. Looks like he is either backed off the gate or doing something. We'll take this gate next to him here.
Portland Tower, Frontier Flight 2278, Harbor Visual 29. Frontier Flight 2278, Portland Tower, good afternoon, wind 1808, runway 29, clear to land. 29, clear to land, Frontier Flight 2278.
I actually like this little scenery I got picked up here. I picked this up just for the stream. I believe this is the Aero. Is it Aero Designs? No marshaller, but that's all right. We're spot 9. We've got our cool down time. Let's go yellow electric pump on. Confirm 2. Confirm. Shut it down. Oh, now we got a marshaller. So they got engine 2 bleed, abnormal pressure. What's that up? What's that all about? Not that hot, is it? It's only 26 outside. I feel like I'm not on the center line, but he's not telling me to change, so we're just going to keep it going. Oh, really? Yeah. Don't do me like that, man. Good thing we didn't shut engine 1 off, huh? We'd be way out there. I'd have to get tugged into the gate. Brake set. Engine 2 is off. Seatbelt sign off. APU is on. Engine 1, shut it down. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Portland, Maine. I fried the ground crew, Christian. That's because Phantom didn't turn it off, dude. That's his flow. The only thing the captain does after landing, for the most part, depending on if you're Airbus or not, even the Airbus recommendation, it's basically the captain disarms the spoid brakes and shuts the lights off. That's about it. And then everything else is on the FO for the after landing, because the captain's typically always up taxiing. All right, so we got that. We're disconnected. Chocks in. Cool deal. Look at these engines. Look at this animation. Still slowing down. Whew, we're going to look at that replay now. Beautiful. All right, let's go replay mode here. We disconnected from the network. Oh man, I forgot to see if anybody was landing. Oh well. Let's throw you guys into replay mode. Let's pause the sail music momentarily. Let's back it up. Back it up. This is a good spot. Let's go right here. Let's go a little bit further back. Oh wow. That's way back. That's a little too much. There we go. We'll enjoy this view here for a minute. So you could see we were already high. I got the speed brakes out. We're high. We got the gear down. We're trying to slow down and go down. But you can see here's our island. There's REM Island in between these two. And then Fort George is literally, I think it's over here. And then here we go up the river. Thank you, Travis. I appreciate it. Looks like our next notch of flaps is coming in. So we don't have BSS flaps or sounds in the replay, which stinks, but we have some engine sounds. So we were at idle thrust pretty much all this way down. Yeah, there's Fort George out there. Look at that. Bank angle check. Bank angle check. There we go, a little bit of thrust. I did a thrust bump at like, what, 1,000 feet? Just wait till you guys see the reverser and the reverser animations. They are absolute juice. So what we'll do is we'll watch from the runway here. This is a cool shot. Look at this. This is cool. Coming in, there's a, what is it, 2891 bridge or something right there. Micah says, gotta run, put air in my tires before the autobahn from Ida. Micah, take it easy, man. Thanks for stopping by the stream, dude. All right, here we come. So this is that, I don't know, I just feel so twitchy still. I might have to do some more tweaking on my curves. Love the lights on that Flight Factor, though. I mean, that looks sharp. $10-knot quartering tailwind, absolute worst case scenario. A little bit of a flare. Oh, we set her down, and then we just went off. That's pretty awful right there. That's I don't know why I can't get these X-plane airplanes to stay on the center line, man. I do not know why. Like, I mean, did I even attempt rudder? Not really. A little bit. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, why I can't. I mean, I think it's probably my pedals too, but... All right, here we go. Let's watch this replay. Ready for some juice? Touchdown. Oh, baby. Look at those reversers. And now let me show you my favorite part. That's not even my favorite part. I'll pause it right there. Look at... You can see... I'll back it up a little bit. You can see the shape of the engine really well when you look at the reverser open up here. Look at that. I love that little bulge right there. Also, pay attention to the thrust attenuation vanes right about here. Look at them. See them close? They closed up. So now all that air is being forced forward. So that's where you get your reverse thrust. You guys, if you're unfamiliar, this is where your reverse thrust is actually going to be, where you're actually getting that thrust. So we talked about that bypass air. I wish I can get a better camera angle. So we talked about that bypass air, right? And then as we watch this go, let's see, I'm just going to let it play for a second. So there you go. That's halfway deployed. So as the thrust reversers are sliding back, these attenuators are sliding out, essentially redirecting all that bypass air forward for the reverse thrust. Now you can actually see this also up in here. I mean, this is where these vent panels are going to be venting more air forward. So essentially the engine is still working the same direction. You're still creating thrust the same way, but it's all being redirected. Instead of out the back, it's now being blasted in front of the engine. So love to see that. And these engines are just absolutely next level when it comes to detail. Anything Carda does, man, is just, it's absolutely awesome. So we'll back it up. Where's the tower view? That's the tower view? I don't think so. We'll watch a couple more of these landings. I'll back it up. I'll leave you guys at the very end with one final replay with the whole approach, just cycling between wing views without me talking. But until then, Carda, thank you so much, man. These are the pre-alpha versions of these engines. When they are released, have no fear. I'm sure Carda will let you know. I will definitely let you know. Hopefully, maybe, Carda, we can do another stream and they can release at the end of the stream. Whenever you're ready, they'll be ready. I can't wait for them. Everyone else hanging out and chat with me, thank you so much for tuning in today on this little afternoon stream. Not a bad touchdown, just we got wonky after that. Mods, thank you for hanging out and being a moderator for me, keeping the channel in check. All the members, I appreciate all of your support. I really do. Your membership support means a lot to me. I hope you guys enjoy these short videos that I make when we out on trips in real life. Everyone else just hanging out in chat, I love you guys just as much. Hit the like button for me, please, on the way out. And until next time, guys, I hope you stay safe, stay healthy. I'm actually probably not going to stream for the next day or so, but take a little time off here, spend some family time. So I'll talk to you guys hopefully soon. TM. Until next time, I'm V1. Stay safe, stay healthy. See ya!